Now recently I ran a poll on our YouTube and on our Instagram page asking you guys which shoe you'd like to see tested and reviewed first, because we got some great trail running shoes in at the moment, and these bad boys won by an absolute landslide, so seems to be a very popular shoe. I'm happy to say we finally got our hands on a pair of Hoka's new Mafate Speed 4s. The first time I saw this shoe was out in Chamonix for UTMB, so a while ago. So got to say a big shout out to Joe from Hoka for hooking us up with a pair. I've tried it on indoors and it feels great on. So today is the day. I'm going to give you a few facts and figures about the shoe, and then I'm grabbing the cameras and you and me are going to be hitting the trails. Welcome back folks, I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Hope everybody is fit and well out there in YouTube world, and thanks for joining us for another video, and a very exciting video indeed. So I'm going to go through things pretty quickly when it comes to this new trail running shoe from Hoka, because the sooner I get these on my feet and test them out, the better. I've heard nothing but good things about the performance of this shoe. So let's dive into the video and let's get running. Firstly, it is a deeply cushioned trail running shoe that's been designed to handle a big mix of different terrains in different weather conditions, so it should work pretty well here in the UK. They retail for £160, and weight wise it comes in at 310 grams in a UK 9.5, runs off a 4mm offset, so we've got a 33mm stack height on the heel and 29mm under your forefoot, so you definitely get a good helping of the soft stuff. As far as the construction goes, first we've got this quite unusual looking sort of woven jacketed upper. That's to give the runner a nice breathable, lightweight, comfortable sock-like feel. We've got good levels of padding in the gusseted tongue and around that ankle collar, and you can see that Hoka have opted for their flared heel design, which we're seeing in most of their shoes nowadays. We've also got the addition of a handy heel tab just to help you get in and out of the shoe a little bit easier. And then finishing off, we've got a nice soft heel cradle. We've got some structural overlays working around the ankle, down by the lace eyelets and around the toe box, just to give that upper a little bit more substance. And then we've got the all-important toe bumper to give you a little bit of protection when you're out on the trails. Dropping down to the midsole, and we've got Hoka's Pro Fly construction using their lightest and most responsive foam to date. So this is basically a dual density compound midsole. So that orange layer is a little bit softer, giving it a nice plush feel close to the foot. And then we've got that bottom green layer, slightly firmer to offer you a bit more underfoot protection, but also to give you a slightly more stable platform to run off when you're running on more technical trails. We've also got Hoka's early stage Meta Rocker worked into that midsole construction, so we got quite an aggressive sort of rocker geometry there. That's been put in to provide a smoother transition from heel to toe, so they should run pretty efficiently when you're running long distances. Turning the shoe over to expose this glorious outsole, and you can see it's been clad in Vibrams Mega Grip light base, so giving you all those sticky properties of a standard Mega Grip, but coming in 30% lighter, so saving when it comes to the overall weight of the shoe. We've got a pretty chunky, aggressive, staggered lug on the shoe. Unfortunately, there's no information about that lug depth on the Hoka website, so I had to grab out the trusty Run4Adventure ruler. We've measured them, and I'd say it's about a 4 to 5mm lug depth. I think it would probably handle the UK conditions pretty well all year round. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to test it in any mud today because the weather we're having in Cornwall at the moment is crazy, and I've never seen the trails so dry in February. So there you have it, a bit of information about the new Hoka Mafate Speed 4, and it's actually been years and years since I ran in the Mafate franchise, and I think it was back in the second version of the standard shoe. If I'm honest, I didn't really get on with them. I found them a bit heavy, a bit stiff, a bit clunky, and a bit awkward to run in, and I've always preferred the Speed Goat, so it's going to be really interesting to test these out today, that's for sure. We're in a bit of a rush because we are losing light, and I need to run them today because we've got lots of exciting trail shoes to test over the coming days. So I'm going to go off, get changed, and we'll see you guys out on the trails. Okay, so we are, what, 2 miles down already, and I don't know whether you noticed on the B-roll, but I've actually got 2 GPS devices on today. So over the last couple of months, I've been testing out the Apex Pro 2 and the Apex 2 from Chorus, and I've been sort of wearing them together to see how accurate the 2 watches are. The review we've done is actually just gone live on the channel, so if you're in the market for a new GPS running device, then I'd definitely recommend checking it out, so I'll leave a link in the description below. But as far as the shoe goes, so 2 miles in, and we've had a big mix of terrain, so done some tarmac, done some gravel path, done some sandy trail and some towns, and I have to say it, they are feeling really comfortable. It's actually been quite a while since I ran in a pair of Hokas, and especially a new pair of Hokas, and I'm loving the feel of that Pro Fly midsole. Felt super bouncy on the road coming up there, and like I said, it's just been a long time and I've forgotten how cushioned Hoka shoes are. So far so good. The plan today is to get a good sort of 10k to 7 miles in on the Towns of Hale, so I suppose we better crack on and get this done before the sun goes down. Okay, it's getting a little bit gloomy out here. Hopefully you can see me, but we are just over 4 miles now and I'm loving the feel of this shoe. My legs are still recovering of the 53 miles of the Arc, and this has really put a spring in my step. That midsole feels awesome. As far as the fit goes, I've always thought the Mafate is a wider fitting shoe, but it's actually quite snug, fits my foot shape really well, and I'd even go as far to say it's actually a better fitting upper than on the Speedgoat 5. I went for a UK 9.5 in the Mafate. Seems to be working really well. I think it fits true to size, and like with the Speedgoat, I had to pull it down really tight at the midfoot. I'm not having to do it, so definitely a better lockdown around my foot. Feel really snug, really secure, and I'm not having to hanker those laces down to get it, but I think if you had a bit of width to your foot shape or a bit of depth, you might struggle in this upper. It's a bit gloomy out here, but look at that view behind me. Perfect waves if you're a surfer. You've got some lovely waves running all the way along to Godrevy. There's actually loads of surfers out there, but we got, what, another 3 miles to do, so let's crack on. Awesome, we've done it. We've got 7 miles in before the sun goes down, and also the body is feeling good, so I'm recovering well after the arc of attrition. You can probably tell by all the positive things that have been coming out of my mouth on the run. It's been a great first run in the Mafate Speed 4, so let's get back to the studio and we'll break down the performance in a bit more detail. Well, that was a much better experience than my last run in a Hoka Mafate, that's for sure, and I can see why runners have been raving about this shoe. Another trail running shoe that just felt really good straight out of the box, and just the right level of padding in that gusseted tongue and around that ankle collar for me, so the upper felt very comfortable, very plush and super breathable, but I could still get that really good lockdown around my midfoot and good hold in the heel. Although I did mention it out on the run, I was surprised how narrow this shoe fits. I always thought the Mafate gave a bit more volume in the toe box when you compared it to a Speedgoat 5. Not that I'm complaining, because it was a really good fit on my foot and I felt really snug and really secure inside the shoe. But if you've got a bit of volume or a bit of depth to your foot, then you might struggle with the fit of this upper. I had a bit of road to soak up on the way to the trails and then a longer section of the hard stuff on the way home. And I have to say that Pro Fly midsole soaked it up with ease. It felt super comfy, felt like it was returning lots of energy, and I would happily bounce along on the road all day in a pair of these. But when I did get to the trails, I still felt connected, still had good ground feel, and the shoe felt nice and stable, even on the sort of more rockier technical sections. I think that comes down to this clever dual density midsole. So having that nice soft top layer, that gives you all that plushness, all that bounce, and then that firmer green compound on the bottom just gives you a very planted and stable platform to run off. You can probably see from the running clips there that the trails in Cornwall are ridiculously dry at the moment, and I'd go as far to say they're almost summer dry, which is mad for early Feb. So we didn't get to test this outsole out in sort of proper UK winter conditions today. No mud in sight, not even a shallow puddle to run through. So hopefully we'll get some wet stuff soon. I can't believe I'm saying that, but hopefully we'll get some wet stuff soon, and we can test that outsole out for grip and traction on muddy trails before our full in-depth review. But the lugs and that mega grip light base handled everything else really well, as you'd expect it to. So good levels of grip on the road and on those rocky sections, and also good levels of traction in the soft sand from that chunky staggered lug. It'd be great to hear from you guys. So if you've been rocking a pair of the Mafate Speed 4s for a while and you've tested it out in some proper wet muddy conditions, well, get in the comments below and let us know how that outsole performed. So all in all, a great first run, and it's awesome to feel excited about a Hoka trail running shoe like I used to every time I put the Speedgoat 3 on my feet. I can see myself racking up a lot of miles in these shoes over the coming weeks. I'm still not sure whether the upper was as comfortable as the Exodus Ultra out on its first run, but maybe that ProFly midsole was as good, if not better, than the dual density midsole on the Exodus Ultra. Obviously, this is just the first run in these, so it's going to be really interesting to see how those two shoes stack up over time. So that is a wrap on the first of many first run, first impressions videos that we got heading your way over the next few weeks. Next up is going to be Innovate's latest offering, so the update to their very popular Trailfly G270, the V2s. Lots of viewers asking for this shoe to be reviewed, so like I say, another very popular trail running shoe by the looks of it. Looking forward to giving them their first run and hoping that maybe some of the comfort issues that I had with the upper have been solved. I tried it on indoors just to check it for size, and that ankle collar definitely feels a lot more flexible, a lot more forgiving, not as stiff as it was on the previous version. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that solves the issues I was having, and looking forward to giving them their first run. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video and found it helpful, then smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is a massive help and is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to support the channel even more, then you can do so through our merch store at Run4Adventure.uk. Lots of kit available there, from organic tees and hoodies. We've got recycled beanies, perfect for this time of the year, or we've got some great multi-wraps to choose from. You can also now support us through our Patreon page for as little as £2 a month, and not only is that a big help when it comes to keeping the lights on and the cameras rolling for you folks at home, but it also opens up a world of Run4Adventure perks. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link down in the description below for our merch store and for our Patreon page if you want to take a closer look. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel, it is really appreciated. We'll be back here very soon, and as always, stay safe and keep on running. Having that top soft layer gives you all that plushness, all that bounce, all that comfort, but then that firmer green compound, we can test that outsole out for grip and traction out on and good levels of traction in the soft sand from that chunky staggered lug.